So we are currently working with AT&T on a micro cell project. It can happen a number of different ways, but one way is the antenna. So you have let's just say a three-phase pole. Okay, so you've got a cross arm and you have a pole, and so the antenna would actually sit on the pole top in that instance, and either a fiber optic or a coax communications cable would come down. Usually it's a small transformer on that pole because you would need power for the communications box. And then there's usually fiber or coax that is the backhaul. So there's additional things that would come down the conduit and be attached. In the circumstance that a pole is too busy, let's just use simple terms, too busy, we could set another pole for that microcell and communications box separately, and then string a secondary wire there to provide the power and the fiber optics and whatever else they need.
Okay, thank you.
So how does it work with all the different wireless providers? I mean, when they're towers, we have a general policy in Vermont of co-location. Don't build a new tower. So what's the policy with all of these different wireless providers if each one wants to put an antenna on one pole?
I can only speak to what we did with AT&T, and we had to file a special contract with the PUC to make it a public document, and so we had to get permission to go ahead and do that actual agreement with them.
So what if Verizon and T-Mobile and some others come along and want to do something on the same pole?
I haven't crossed that bridge yet, so I don't know if I'm able to answer that.
Any public notice around these particular small cells being put in front of people's homes on poles, if they are being put on poles in front of people's homes?
All I can say is that we're following all the PUC regulations as they exist today.
So so you're not answering the question. You're saying you're not going to answer the question.
My understanding is AT&T is following the appropriate 248 process with respect to these.
I'm just trying to find out if there's public notice.
We are not personally giving notice to our members.
So I want to be real clear about why this is important. My organization helped to negotiate the opt-out for smart meters. We have heard from a surprising number of people who discovered that their health problems were being caused by their smart meters. And they got their smart meters removed and they got better. So this is a very real issue for people. And some of the people that we have heard from who live near banks of smart meters or in apartment complexes, they left the state if they couldn't get away from it. Some of them have gone to West Virginia, where there's an area that doesn't have any radio frequency because there's a big antenna there. So there's a tendency to make fun of people who are sensitive to electromagnetic radiation and radio frequency, but it's a very real health issue. And as these studies show, and there are scientists all over the world raising the alarm in particular about 5G, but when you are exposing someone to a frequency that is above the normal levels, and they may have wireless in their house, they may have a smart meter, there is a cumulative impact, and it's something that we all need to be aware of, because there's kind of a tipping point over which you don't recover. And once you become sensitive, then you've got huge life challenges. I mean, our State House has pockets in parts of the State House that are really, really bad. And I discovered it because I spent time in one of those rooms and was just wiped out the next day. But I can protect myself in my home. But if somebody's putting something on a pole outside at my house, then I want to know about it because I need to know what I'm exposed to. And I ask all of you who are intending or are deploying wireless antennas to be aware that this has very real health effects for people, just as the smart meters did, and why it's been a good policy for Vermont to have an opt-out on smart meters. It's worked for the people who need it, and most people have no no issues, and that's fine. But for those people who do have issues, we shouldn't just throw them out.
Anybody else on public notice issues? All right, so that is the last of our specific topics.